So we're going to try and calculate dy here from Cramer's rule using the graphing calculator. So there's the complete problem. We got all these determinants that we have to calculate for Cramer's rule. So let's enter these into our calculator. Now the way to do that is we first need to find the matrix menu. So if you hit the second button and then the fourth option down on the left hand side is x inverse, what do you see right above x inverse? Matrix. And it gives you a menu. You're going to want to edit something from that menu. So cursor over here to the right twice or to the left once, and then press enter. It's going to ask you, well, gee, what size matrix do you want to enter? Well, it's always going to be number of rows, then number of columns. So 3 by 3. 3, enter 3. Now, if you haven't used this before, it might say 1 by 1. That's okay. Just type right over whatever's there. And now let's enter in the elements in our matrix. So if you want to follow with me, I'll read them off to you. In the upper left-hand corner, you're going to enter the number 1. So 1. When you press enter, conveniently, it moves across to the next one, which is going to be a 10. And then a 2, followed by a 2. You have to press enter between all of these. 9 is going to be in the middle. And then a 2 for second row, third column. And then across the bottom, 2, enter, 1, enter, and then 1. Now when it comes time to actually do something with this matrix, we first got to stop editing it. So hit the second button, then the mode key, and that'll quit. That takes you out of the editing. If you wanted to take a look at your matrix and say, hey, did I type that in right? Do I have what I think? Then here's what you do. Hit the second button, then the X inverse key, and either type the number 1 or press enter. Press enter again, and it'll print out your matrix. So that should be what I have up here. Are we okay? Is everyone able to get that entered correctly? If not, let me know. You good?
Yeah, I need your help.
Okay. Mimi, can you help Luke get that entered? All right. Everyone else, I don't want to move on until I'm sure that everyone's with me.
I have a matrix set up 3 by 3. How do I get it this way?
Let me see. Nathan?
It's the same thing.
Oh, so you just make it.
I was still playing it when you.
I was playing it too.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me go back here. Actually, you know what? You can just keep editing and just enter in the rest of them, right? So 2, 2, 1. All right. So if you're stuck right here, let me go back. If you're stuck here and you're like, okay, I've got that and I need to get out, once again, you need to quit. You'll see the quit right above the mode key. So to get that, you need the second button, then the mode key. That'll exit you out of this so that now you can do what we need to do, which is calculate the determinant. So bring it up here. All right. Luke, you good?
Yeah.
All right. No, that's right. You're good.
How did it do that?
No, you're good. That's exactly what you need. All right, so we want the determinant of this. So to get the determinant, let's go back to that same menu that we did before. That is the matrix menu. So you can clear this out if you want. If we hit the second key, then the X inverse key, this time I want to go over to the math menu. So I'll go over here. The first option down looks pretty promising, right? DET. It's a good bet that that would be the determinant. Either type the number 1 or press enter. But you have to tell it what you're taking the determinant of. So, well, what are we taking the determinant of? We're taking the determinant of matrix A. And unfortunately, that means we got to go back to the matrix menu one last time. Sorry. second, x inverse. That takes you back to the matrix menu. Type the number 1 or press enter, either way. And if you want to be really mathematically formal, you can put a right parenthesis here. Doesn't matter, don't need it. But if you take the determinant, you should get -5. All right. I want to see some hands. Who's able to get -5? Yay. Need some help? Can you help out? All right. So one more time to repeat this. Start out by going to the matrix menu, second, and then matrix. Now the determinant command is underneath the math part of this. So cursor to the right once, and press enter. Determinant of something. Well, we need to tell it what to take the determinant of, and that would be determinant of matrix A. So let's just go back and let it know that we're taking the determinant of A. Hit the second key, then the x inverse key, and press enter, and then enter again. You don't really need that extra parenthesis, although it makes me feel good. All right. You should get -5. Got it? Everyone's good on that? Okay. Now, so that's -5. So -5 here. And let's figure out what this one is. So my goal for this one is we're going to edit our matrix. We're going to just change it up a little bit and then redo our calculation for the determinant so that we get this one as well. So let me go back to here. I can clear that out. Now to edit it, we're going to have to start all over again. Hit the second button, then the x inverse key. You see a couple menus at the top. We'll go over to edit. Press enter. You can skip through this, press enter twice because it's still a 3x3 matrix. In fact, the first column is still the same, right? So we can leave the first column. Let's go over to the second column. Second column is now 2. And then hit the down arrow. 1. Down arrow again. And then 2. And I'll hit enter here because it's not letting me cursor to the right for whatever reason. And then across the right column, I'll have 10, and then 9, and 1. And we got the 1 there. So does anyone remember how to exit this? How do we get out of this? Second mode. Good. And take a look right above the mode button. You'll see quit in blue. So it matches the second button. Second, quit. We want the determinant. So the shortcut is just to hit the second button and then the enter key. It should bring up your last command. But let me practice this again from scratch. Second, x inverse. Then where? Math. Enter. Second, x inverse. And then type the number 1, press enter, or just press enter twice. So 35. All right. Who got the error? Let me see. It's all right. Let's see. Oh, because you took the determinant of 1. You need to take the determinant of matrix A. Yeah, it needs to put an A. So to get at the A, you hit the second button and then the matrix button or the x inverse key, however you want to think of it, and then type the number 1. So that should bring up the A. All right. Are you comfortable with calculating these determinants on a calculator? It's a handy little thing. We're in the 21st century. I think it's something good to know rather than doing these things by hand. Now, let me go back here and be very explicit about how I would ask a problem like this on the exam. Typically speaking, I don't want you solving 4 3x3 determinants. It's enough for me to see you do one of them. And that's the way I approach this type of problem. So on a test, I would probably do something like this. I'd probably give you d equals 5, dx equals -10, and dz equals 35. And then I'll ask you to figure out what dy is. So there's show me the matrix here, calculate dy, and then use it to finish solving. Because remember, we're not really done solving here. X is going to be dx over d, -10 over 5. So -2. Y is dy over d, so -5 over 5, which is -1. And z is dz over d, so 35 over 5 is 7. Overall, your solution is -2, -1, and 7. Now, one of the things about Cramer's rule is that it's starting to bridge the gap between calculating things by hand and calculating them with a computer or a calculator. It's not my method of choice. It's not my go-to. But it does introduce the determinant, and the determinant does come to play in our work in section 12.4. So, yeah, and the skills that we have here entering a matrix are going to help us out in 12.4. For homework, try 21 through 33 and 43 through 59.